Of COVID-19 in the country. Lagos recorded 256, Katsina 23, Edo 22, Rivers 14, Kano 13, 11 each in Adamawa and Akwa Ibom states, 7 in Kaduna, 6 each in Kwara and Nasarawa, 2 in Abia, Delta, Benue, Niger, Kogi and Oyo states, 1 each in Imo, Borno, Ogun and Anambra states. Total confirmed cases is now 8,733, while 2,501 patients have been discharged, with 254 deaths recorded. Today, 28th May 2020, marks the birth of Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, with signing of the Treaty of Lagos on 28th of May 1975, funded with the vision of a regional community geared towards fostering interstate economic and political cooperation. The ECOWAS mandate was revised in Lagos in 1993 and has since been on the path to adopt a common market and custom union, prevent conflict and ensure good governance and democracy. ECOWAS Parliament Speaker Sidi Mohamed Tunis notes that 45 years down the line, ECOWAS member states are better integrated with easier migration of citizens, common agricultural policies, and multifaceted infrastructural programs. Current impact of the novel coronavirus pandemic, however, remains a threat to the development of the region, and Speaker Sidi Mohamed Tunis says the 5th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament is determined to play its role in the Commission's post-COVID-19 program to the benefit of the people. He emphasized the need for member states to redesign budgets and national programs to reflect current realities as the region works in unity to emerge stronger when the pandemic is eventually contained. The ravaging coronavirus disease is raising a lot of concerns and questions in the mind of the people over the world. The pandemic, which is a global challenge, is biting hard on food production. Kayode Oladoshu in this report beams a searchlight on food sufficiency in post-COVID-19.
It remains a reality that the spreading nature of the coronavirus pandemic holds a great challenge across sectors in the world, including food production. Its impact is no doubt a threat to various agricultural produce and can lead to food scarcity after the pandemic. Food provides essential benefit to human life, hence adequate provision of food is very paramount while taking a rightful approach to prevent any future shortage in production.
It is expedient that we increase food production. If not, there will be food crisis. And the way is to ensure that we assist our farmers, ensure that inputs are made available. And for that, we must ensure that we fortify our extension service.
Professor Stella Odebode, who has a garden in her backyard, was of the opinion that green revolution should be the priority of Nigerians at the moment to combat the influence of COVID-19 on agricultural production.
I am foreseeing food shortage, but how do we forestall it? How do we correct it? How can we get prepared for it? I would suggest that as an agri expert, we should begin to look at home gardening as a form of farming. Go to the back of your house, plant what is, I can say, plantable. What is possible, you plant all of these things at this time. Vegetables, we can harvest a lot, and then you still take to the market, and you get a lot of money from it.
With various factors put in place to fight the impact of coronavirus on every sector of the economy, it is pertinent that provision of food is a key factor to overcome any unforeseen famine in the future. In Ibadan, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
And on Panorama today to discuss promoting food sufficiency in post-COVID-19 is Professor Mohammed Kota Yahaya, a professor of development communication in agricultural extension and rural development. You're welcome, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, what are the factors that have been bothering agricultural experts on food production at this period of COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, first of all, we have to acknowledge the devastation caused by COVID-19 and efforts of all stakeholders across the nation, both at the national level and at subnational level as states and local government. We must commend the federal government for its efforts at the combating the menace caused by COVID-19. That is at the head level. But we must take cognizance of the fact that agriculture is the bedrock of survival in post-COVID-19 Nigeria. And I'm glad to report that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, has already said during the Eid al-Fitr celebration, he made it point clear that there is no money to import food. So we must grow what we eat. And then the slogan is, we must eat what we grow. And that is the culture that should go with Nigeria as a nation now. And to achieve that, we must cash in on this era of COVID-19 so that we don't abandon the agricultural sector. We don't abandon the rural areas. We don't abandon our extension system. In fact, the lacuna in this agenda is that the task force on response should have included extension agents so that they carry some of these messages to the rural communities that are having the bulk of the burden of producing most of the food we eat. So I will call for the nation to go back to the land as already advanced by Mr. President, and he has done this during his first coming in 1984. That back to land program that was initiated became the cornerstone of sending every Nigerian to contribute to the food system of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Before you go back into that, despite the ban of movement due to COVID-19 pandemic, vehicles transporting food items and agricultural related items are being exempted. To what extent do you think this will go in meeting food needs?
I think it will just try, but the fear caused by COVID-19 is enough to scare people off the road or even off taking the risk of transporting. So therefore, we must encourage everybody. This is the time of reawakening, of encouraging urban and peri-urban agriculture, where everybody is a stakeholder in the Nigerian agricultural system. It's no longer going to be abandoned to the farmers alone. If you have, as demonstrated by most of our colleagues in the University of Ibadan, everybody who is in the Faculty of Agriculture has a backyard or a small farm where they grow both livestock and other crops, vegetables to sustain the family immediate needs. So if we encourage urban agriculture, everybody within the urban setting can encourage the production of what they need within their immediate environment. But to encourage mass movement, we must of necessity assist the farmers. The palliatives that are going to the health sector must also go to the farmers because they hold the key to food security of this country, and that the time has come when extension messages to farmers should contain the kind of crops that health professionals to encourage the farmers to produce the crops that are immune boosters that can help to increase the health of citizens.
Exactly.
Instead of
that brings me to the question of 2020 planting season. What should stakeholders do to ensure COVID-19 does not affect them too much concerning security and well-being of the people?
When there is any policy initiation, there must be integral or integration of all the stakeholders, from expert community to the people affected. There must be that synergy. We don't do it in isolation. You can't ignore the expert community, the researchers, the extension professionals, the farmers, and the end users, even consumers at this material time. For example, you talk about organic agriculture. Some people are aligned to organic products. So you now have to also take into cognizance everybody who is in the food system must be involved. We don't exclude anybody, and you don't assume. And that is why we need synergy, we need integration, we need collaboration, we need support system that will encourage everybody, including the security operatives. They must understand and that we must of necessity try to encourage people who have legitimate transactions to have movement who are related to the entire agricultural value chain. Because not only at the production level, there are people who are into storage, who are into packaging, who are into processing, who are into marketing. They must be put into consideration so that you create an opportunity. But for me, I see this as an window of opportunity for creating farmers market across Nigeria. If you have farmers market well established, well structured, and that where you can go and see the farmers to come and sell their product fresh, and the consumers can go there and buy their product fresh, and then they have preservation materials and where they can keep for excesses on ground. I think it will save us a lot.
Yeah, before we go into all those selling and all those, there should be having access to inputs like seeds, herbicides, and related items, which could be hindered as a result of the measures put in place. How well could this be controlled?
Well, it's already
the end users.
Part of the protocol and the government policy. The president, in his address to the nation, has made it clear that there must be window for all those who are involved in input supply chain to move freely to get to the end users, to their consumers. That's the farmers who need this product. So I think there should be a deliberative plan and an action plan that should integrate the movement of goods, of services in the agricultural system so that the beneficiaries would get it at the right time.
Thank you very much. And the place of jobs and even industrialization cannot be ruled out. Sure, you know that in agricultural planning and food production. Is there any way these are also being considered in the planning you're talking about?
Well, one of the greatest challenges facing us as a nation is when policy pronouncements are made. Somebody must follow it through to the end. The president, in his broadcast to the nation, has already this year indicated that there will be recruitment of 50,000 extension workers. This needs to be professionalized. This needs to be part of the integration that I'm talking about, so that even the universities, polytechnics, and the college of education and the agriculture producing extension workers should have been carried along in this program. The policy, Mr. President made a policy pronouncement. Somebody must follow through to make sure that this is actualized in our nation. So therefore, the manpower requirement and development initiative is that we must of necessity take advantage of whatever policy that has come, so that we have more people, instead of losing jobs, more people will gain jobs. And therefore, we must of necessity at this material time have an integrated approach towards addressing the issues.
And lastly, before you go, you know that this pandemic, coronavirus pandemic, has caused a lot of setbacks, especially in the area of agriculture. What are your recommendations to overcome famine in the coming years?
Well, the president, as he has done for the health sector, must do the same for agricultural sector. From that his pronouncement on Eid al-Fitr Day, I think the policymakers within the entire agricultural system to take advantage now and make sure we go back to land. As the president said, we must grow what we eat, and therefore I call for a national roadmap for agriculture in Nigeria, so that we are not taking unawares like this again. So that roadmap, he has done it for the power sector. We must do it for the agricultural sector, because if there is no food on the table, Nigerians will not have the quality health and the ability to do what we want. And the time of emergency is now. Mr. President, I'm calling on the President to take this, and all the cabinet members, National Assembly must call for an emergency in the agricultural sector, so that there will be no food crisis. Whatever we can do, whatever investment, in terms of funding, in terms of capacity, in terms of addressing our expert community, universities and so on should be put in place to make sure this one works for Nigeria.
Very much, sir. We've been speaking with Professor Mohammed Kuta Yahaya, a professor of development communication in agricultural sector. He's been discussing promoting food sufficiency in post-COVID-19. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio today.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Panorama continues after this break. Stay with us. and promise of a better future is the message of President Muhammadu Buhari to Nigerian children on their 5th special day. In this report, Monso Damian Datin tells us that the president was represented by the Minister of FCT and celebrated the day at the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs.
May 27th is marked as Children's Day. This year's edition is weighed down by the battle against the dreadful COVID-19, with children particularly affected, resulting in the shutting down of schools across the world. This educational malaise set the backdrop for the virtual Children's Day celebration at the Ministry of Women Affairs headquarters in Abuja, the very first of its kind. The Minister of Women Affairs, alongside her counterparts in the FCT, Mohammed Musa Bello, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari, were on standby to mark the day.
For them to remain very positive, very hopeful, the sky will be their limit.
With children participating online from across states of the Federation. A message from President Muhammadu Buhari to the Nigerian children on their special day is one of sensitivity, warmth and hope, especially for the girl child.
To ensure sustenance of actions to promote the education of the girl child, I have charged the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs to implement the following interventions among others. The national strategy to end girl child and other cultural practices and social norms militating against the girl child education. Collaborate with the Federal Ministry of Education to increase the enrollment, retention and completion rates of girls in primary and secondary schools across the nation. Urge the domestication of the Child Rights Act by all the states of the Federation.
The celebration has at its theme promoting girl child education for sustainable development. Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
And the common saying that children are special gifts from God is one that resonates with every child, irrespective of where he or she is. It was another Children's Day on May 27th, and the coronavirus pandemic has no doubt stolen the joy from these younger ones with no fun place to visit. But against all odds, some children tried to make the best out of the day, as Ruth Agoeli tells us more.
It's a new dawn. The day is bright and beautiful, and just once in every year, specially dedicated to celebrate children the world over. But this year it is low-key due to the COVID-19. It wouldn't have made any difference for 12-year-old Daniel Adegbeiga. But he still would have marked the day with a bucket of sachet water, enduring the hot sun or rain, whichever comes, in search of buyers.
Now I can almost see my friends. March past, everything is closed down, so sell and go. The first lockdown, I was at home, I was not doing anything. So we suffer before we eat. And when we come to market, she will not sell.
He is not alone in this. There are many other children hawking to support their parents on their special day.
We do not march because of the coronavirus and there's no school.
But then, there are some privileged ones who would have been at the parades and other places to mark the Children's Day.
I wish our government to pay the children's father so that they will have money to celebrate it at home.
I want children to cough inside their hand and sanitize their hand and keep distance.
But this year, the only option is to play around within the confines of their home. For some of them, it is an opportunity to develop skills and talents. So they came up with this presentation to commemorate the Day for Children online.
We have further time to celebrate it after defeating COVID-19.
We need quality education, sane and safe environment,
but under your guidance and leadership, so that we can grow with positive mind.
I believe that one day we shall tell a story on the agony COVID-19 brought to the world.
We wish you happy Children's Day.
But on this same day is a neighborhood market with a petty vegetable seller. As a child, she was full of big dreams to become an economist, but that never saw the light of day. Her dreams were shattered when she dropped out of school at primary level.
I don't find money to train my children. My children, I don't see money train them. I want to let them go to school.
To avoid future occurrence of Nkechi's story in today's Girl, the theme, Promoting girl-child education for sustainable development is the focus for this year. While the Ministry of Women Affairs decided to mark the Children's Day by virtual interaction, one wonders if the likes of Daniel and his friends hawking at the market even knew about it. Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
In his effort to boost the security network in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has inaugurated the police mobile squadron in Agoare, Oyo North Senatorial Zone of the state. Correspondent Ayomiku Ajibola reports.
Inaugurating the Police Mobile Force 72 Squadron and presentation of 6 Elos trucks for the operation of the outfit, Governor Seyi Makinde said his administration remained committed to ensuring safety and security of lives and property of the citizens of the state. While appreciating the Inspector General of Police for granting approval for the establishment of the squadron, the governor commended the officers of the outfit for the positive testimonies he has so far had about them, urging them to be efficient in discharge of their duties.
For this administration, there's a very strong commitment to security, and we will do everything within our power to ensure that our people, they go about their businesses in a safe and secure environment.
Your Excellency, 72 PMF actually was set up with your own request, as well as seeing the importance of need to have security within this your domain.
The governor had also distributed seedlings to 10,000 farms in the state at Iseyin, noting that the effort was part of government palliatives to ensure food security in the state post-COVID-19, and also inaugurated a 12-classroom model school at Ipapo, a Teswaju local government area of the state. The school is one of the 22 model schools completed by its administration in the last 1 year. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Achibola, NTA News.
In our sports, Confederation of African Football CAF set to postpone African Cup of Nations from 2021 to 2022. For details on sports, Larry Bilei is our guide.
Confederation of African Football CAF is likely to announce the postponement of AFCON 2021 to January 2022. The football body will hold meeting to decide on the issue. The 2021 African Nations Cup is slated for July 2021 following the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic. CAF cited unfavorable weather conditions. The tournament will take place between January to February 2021. There have been debates on whether the tournament should be shifted to June and July. CAF is also urged to consider a 4-year interval for the African most decorated title. In another news, the first Vice President, Nigeria Football Federation, Barrister Seyi Akinwumi, has declared that the conditions attached in the new contract extension of Super Eagles coach Kenneth Raw is meant to improve efficiency. He also corrected the notion that the clauses is to discourage the Franco-German from renewing his contract. From the Sport Desk, Larry Bilei, NTA News.
And that has been our package on Panorama on the network service of NTA. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.
There is a lot of fake news and report circulating, especially on social media, on the coronavirus. Do not believe or partake in the spread of these fake reports. If it is not on the official website or news from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, disregard such report. Only together can we beat this virus. Only together can we overcome this pandemic. Follow the instructions and guidelines provided to combat this virus. Most importantly, stay at home. Self-isolate, regardless of your status. The virus doesn't move unless we move. Let us work together to better Nigeria. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Nigeria, a nation of great people. Different tribes and languages, yet we are united in our diversity. All over the world, Nigerians are known to be very hardworking and resilient people. In our history as a nation, there have been many storms, but just like the eagle, we always soar very high above the storms. Together, as a nation, we stood against Ebola virus disease in 2014, and we conquered. Together as a nation, we shall stand against COVID-19, and we shall surely triumph. Let's do our part as citizens, obey the health authorities, stay at home, practice social distancing and proper hygiene. When this is over, and very soon it will be, we shall dance again at the Calabar Carnival, the Eyo Festival, Celebration, Ojudeoba Festival, and Aragongo Festival. When this is over, and very soon it will, we shall flock the beaches again. We shall attend our music concerts again. We shall invite the world once again at the Lagos City Marathon. When this is over,